So what I want to do right now, I want to address how I think digital out of home fits into the landscape of today's marketing, right? I think it's a mistake when folks are asking the question of like, okay, how do I run this digital out of home campaign, right? I don't think that's the right question. I think we have to understand, where does digital out of home fit into just that overall customer journey? Because it's really not just about channels right now. Ultimately, today's marketing has to do with creating meaningful experiences. So I think in the old way of doing things, right, and for many years, you probably had a lot of marketers that would build these campaigns solely around the channels themselves, right? So there's my search strategy, my social, my email, my event strategy, like all these kind of segmented pieces, right? And sometimes those channels talk to each other, and sometimes they didn't. But you have to understand your buyers are not going to experience marketing in that way. They're going to experience the brand itself. So in reality, right, think about your own behavior, right? So you see a post on LinkedIn, for instance, right? You hear about this company on a podcast, you notice a billboard, or you visit a website, maybe watch a YouTube video, and then some weeks down the line you convert as a paid customer. Now that's not one journey, that's like 5 different channels. And the reason why that matters is because I think it's a misconception that persists around digital out of home, looking at it as just an awareness channel, right? And I mean, that's true, it is an awareness channel, but it's only partially true, right? I think the real value comes from the fact that it works alongside of everything else. So ultimately, we have to see it as an amplifier to your media mix, because what it does is it's going to increase that familiarity, the recognition. It's going to develop trust in your audience, and these are all things that kind of improve the overall performance in those other channels, right? Let's say, for instance, you are launching a new product, right? You can run your LinkedIn ads, your Google, your display, your all these different pieces, right? But I think you could also place digital out of home, in the exact locations where your exact audience is going to be spending time. And so now all of these other marketing touch points, they really just become stronger, because your buyers now, they've actually gotten familiar with your brand somewhere else. And I think the psychology here is that, people just very rarely buy from brands they haven't heard of. You have to have the familiarity, you have to have that kind of like recognition. And I think digital out of home just creates those moments, right? It's gonna give you that recognition in the real world and in real time. So now the shift becomes, today we're not thinking about, okay, which channel is going to drive the most revenue, but we're thinking about how all of these channels kind of play well together. How do they work together to influence revenue? That is a very different way of just kind of looking at things. So no, right, like digital out of home is not going to replace search. It's not replacing LinkedIn. It's not replacing CTV, right? But it is going to strengthen that ecosystem around all of those things. And I think that's just where a lot of opportunities are being missed right now. So once again, these are my thoughts from Under the Hood Marketing, right? I will be back frequently to share more ideas. I'll be posting on LinkedIn and my personal YouTube page as well, at Under the Hood Marketing. So feel free to comment, feel free to engage. I would personally love to know some of your thoughts on, digital out of home, whether or not that's a channel you've been exploring or will be open to. But until next time, you take care.